What's up, fam? It's your boy John, aka Dark Wolf 92, here with another reaction video for you. And I'm going to be doing something a little different today. I have always been a fan of Japanese culture, mainly due to my love for anime that has gone back for many, many years. Back in the late 90s, I really contemplated moving to Japan, but sadly that the fear of the culture shock and the changes sadly are what kept me from making that move. It was just a number of things where my generation, you're raised, and I've even talked to my best friend and several of my closest friends and dearest friends about this, where we all were said the same thing. We were all raised where you were, once you got out of school or you go to college, and once you get out of college you join the rat race. That's your primary goal. Focus on the rat race where you're able to buy a home, you can start a family. You weren't taught that you could live life outside that box. And that was another thing that freaked me out from going. I mean, it was like, well, I just can't pack up and leave. I mean, I don't know the language. And the thing is that over the years I've grown to regret not doing that. And the thing is, back then, we really didn't have the internet like we have it now. So, you didn't have things like YouTube or um, the internet that could give you detailed information to help you like learn the culture. You didn't have um, apps that could teach you how to speak different languages. I think the first concept for that was Rosetta Stone. And the crazy thing is, I bought that, and it was me personally, it was kind of a hot mess to get a whole to figure out. So, but there are times where I can't find it now because I had a disc that two of them. I actually bought two, one to learn Japanese and the other one was to learn French. And I need to find both of those because I'd like to give them a try again. But there are so many different apps out now that can help you learn different languages, and I just need to take the time to do it because I really still want to visit Japan. I know I have several friends who have visited. They talk about how beautiful it is, how much fun it is. And the thing that makes me mad is so many foreigners, mainly Americans, are going there doing stupid stuff, and now the Japanese people are tired of all these foreigners going in there messing things up for their country. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Don't go there and just do dumb stuff. Okay, learn the culture, learn the rules, learn how to respect that culture, learn the guidelines for going there. Okay, and stop being an annoyance. That's the biggest issue. And y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about these idiotic, annoying IRL streamers that go there and have provoked problems within the country. Okay. And from the people I know that have gone to Japan, they talk about how polite the people are, how beautiful it is. But I have heard the nightmare stories from people who have lived in Japan, actually nationalists of Japan, where they talk about um, how how much they are required to work, the struggle for living, and it's just a number of things. And I'm just like, oh my god, it's really that bad with the when it comes to work. And so I'm just like, wow. And here I am crying about a 40-hour work week when I worked at my previous job. And to be honest, that was a cakewalk. The only thing that made it difficult for me in the past couple of years was I needed to take care of my mom, and her decline was getting worse and worse. And the supervisor I had, she was not very understanding. She didn't care. She was trying to make a name for herself, and she was making it more and more difficult for all the employees. So it can be a combination of things that make you stress out like that when it comes to work. And hearing that about Japan, I'm just like, damn, it's really that crazy when it comes to the work environment? Because I've heard they don't really like you taking time off. If you take time off, when you come back, you have to bring them a gift as compensation for them picking up your slack for you not being there. I'm like, Oh, really? I'm like, shoo, because at my previous job, I had 200 hours of vacation time. I earned that, and if I want to take a week off, I'm taking a week off. Okay, and you're not gonna hold that over my head. That's crazy. But hey, different cultures, different beliefs. So anyway, the video I'm getting ready to watch talks about um 15 mind-blowing taboos in Japan you never expected. And this is from Life ABC. That's the name of the channel. So I'm gonna leave their link down in the description box. And guys, this is something that I don't know. It's yeah, I know how I look at Japan and I see all the good aspects of it, but it has a dark side. Everywhere you go still has its dark side. So let's just go into this with an open mind. Like I said, I've heard horror stories also about Japan, and I'm just like, be honest, those stories aren't as bad as some of the stuff that goes on here in the US. I'm not kidding. But guys, without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this video, okay? And afterwards, we're gonna discuss it some more. All right, because I would love to hear from everybody about their thoughts on this, especially people who live in Japan. If you're watching this video, please tell me about this. Confirm if any of this is true. Okay, so let's get into it.
Welcome to Life ABC's channel. Japan,
So
the land of cherry blossoms, cutting-edge technology, and mysterious cultural traditions. But did you know there are taboos in Japan that might shock you and
Japanese
cause
women are
serious
so
trouble?
beautiful. Asian women
In today's video,
period,
we will reveal
are so
15
beautiful.
shocking taboos
To me,
that you should
Japanese
never
women are
do
the
when
most
visiting the
beautiful.
land of the
I'm just
rising
gonna open
sun.
that up and say
Let's
it.
dive in and explore. 15. Banning work, leading to the phenomenon of
Banning
karoshi,
work.
death from overwork. Work pressure also caused many Japanese to think about suicide. Japan has one of the highest suicide rates in the world, with the famous suicide forest Aokigahara, where it is said that every tree has someone hanging from it. This culture of working to death is a serious problem in
Now that's scary. That is so scary because I do know about the forest. They call it the suicide forest. First learned about it on oh god, what was the name of that channel? It was on Sci-Fi Channel because they did an investigation in it. I used to love watching it. I have to maybe I'll oh god, Expedition Unknown or Expedition Discover, something like that, where they used to hunt, go to haunted places and search for mythical creatures. But that's when I first learned about the suicide force. And also, you know, I think it was it Jake Paul or Logan Paul, one of the two Pauls, found the dead body hanging in a tree when they went in Japan. You know, that's a whole hot mess in itself. But yeah, that is something I've heard about that's heartbreaking, where literally no job should force you to take your own life. Nothing in this world should you allow to push you to the point where you want to take your own life. Okay? Because I speak from experience of that. And it was by the grace of God that He intervened and stopped me from doing something really stupid that I wouldn't be here to tell y'all about to this day. But no job should do that. And hearing about that in Japan, especially amongst their youth, it's always the youth and the young people that are doing this. It's sad. It's scary. It should not be that way.
Japan. And the ban on overtime work is one of the government's efforts to change this situation and protect workers' health and lives.
Good.
14. No tipping allowed. If you have a chance to visit a Japanese restaurant, you'll be surprised if you see staff running after you to return even a few yen. In Japan, tipping is not a way to reward service. Japanese people believe that when a customer tips, it means the customer is not satisfied with the service and wants to send a message that, next time, do better. Tipping is considered very rude and unpleasant for the restaurant and its staff. They value dignity and respect much more than tips, and believe that you have paid for good service, so there's no need to tip.
We need that theory here in the US because now they think you need to tip for everything. Even just buying stuff in the store, they try to get a tip from you. You ain't do nothing. I picked up everything and carried it myself. Brought it to the counter. Why should I tip you? Oh my God. And I always wondered about why they said no tipping. Everything I saw never explained about it. I like that they explained it. Okay. That's crazy. That tipping means you didn't do a good enough job. Where here it means you did a great job and we appreciate it. Here's a little something extra. Okay. And they're just like, look, you compliment how well they did. You enjoyed the food. Say so. We good. Man, that's crazy.
Japan is one of the few countries in the world that offers truly excellent service without any obligations. However, there are some notable exceptions to this rule that we will discuss further. Instead of tipping, Japanese people show gratitude to service staff through small gifts like origami, meticulously folded paper that contains heartfelt thanks and encouragement for the staff. For Japanese people, thanking with money does not fit with their practicality. This is a beautiful aspect of Japanese etiquette, showing warmth and a lack of greed for money.
Those greens?
They do not use money to replace the beautiful and tangible values, because they understand that money cannot bring deep spiritual value.
Good.
13. Japan has no tattoos. Japan is a country where tattoos are not common, and many visitors with tattoos experience cultural shock when visiting the land of the rising sun. Here, tattoos are particularly stigmatized, and people with tattoos often cannot experience the most famous tourist services. Those with tattoos are banned from most inns, hot springs, public baths, restaurants, traditional guest houses, gyms, swimming pools, and even capsule hotels.
Oh, wow.
Tattoos in Japan are often associated with the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia, a concept familiar to the world through films and social media. Additionally, tattoos are stigmatized because they relate to a disrespected class from the Edo period, when criminals were punished by tattooing. During the same period, prostitutes known as yujo also tattooed themselves to show dedication to loyal customers. Tattoos gradually became illegal during the Meiji period and were only legalized in 1948.
Wow.
In many cases, you are not allowed to show your tattoos, although this attitude is gradually changing among the younger generation. Foreigners are often accepted to have tattoos, but they must cover them in public places. In 2013, Dennis Taito, a visitor from New Zealand, came to Hokkaido to attend a native language conference, but was not allowed into a hot spring because of traditional tattoos on his face. In other countries, tattoos may be considered a form of beauty and memory, but in Japan, they are not recognized and can even cause many inconveniences. 12. Not giving up seats for the elderly on the bus. Japan is famous for its poetic beauty and noble rules. However, a seemingly paradoxical rule is not giving up seats for the elderly on public transportation. This might make you think that the Japanese are cold-hearted, but that's not the case. They actually have a valid reason for this rule. Today, all public transportation in Japan is equipped with priority areas for the elderly, pregnant women, children, and people with disabilities.
Okay.
If these priority seats are full, those who arrive later will have to stand, even if younger people see them but can't do anything else. This is not because the Japanese don't care, but because they value equality in society. In Japan, the principle is that those who arrive first get a seat, and those who come later have to stand, and no one complains about it.
That's why I can never ride those
Giving
trains.
up seats for others is a common act in many parts of the world. But in Japan, this can make people feel uncomfortable, as it can be seen as unnecessary differentiation in a society that values equality. If you really...
Okay, that's weird because I was raised to always be respectful of your elders. And when I used to catch the parking ride downtown, if I saw anyone elderly standing, or even a female standing, I mean, I've got old school traditions where whether it's going to the office or coming home, I would always give up my seat. And sadly, in this day and age, there are a lot. Well, I'm not going to get into that. That's a totally different subject that I don't want to get into. But the fact is, I'm saying it's just some people, it is ingrained in them to do that. So for me, that would be very difficult for me not to do. Okay.
Really want to give up your seat, do it subtly, like pretending to get off at the next stop, or switching seats with someone else. So the Japanese can sit comfortably without worrying about you giving up your seat for them.
That boy's gone.
11. Taboo numbers. Every country in the world has its own beliefs about unlucky numbers and avoids using them. Japan is no exception, with a strong aversion to the number 4. This stems from Japanese customs and beliefs, as the number 4 is pronounced similarly to shy, meaning death. Therefore, the number 4 is considered unlucky. The Japanese are very afraid of this number and use various methods to avoid bad luck related to it. For example, in some buildings, elevators do not have a button for the 4th floor. Instead, this floor is labeled as 3A or 3S, or replaced with the letter T.
Now, this I didn't know either.
Many apartment buildings, offices, and hospitals also do not have a 4th floor. This confuses many visitors to Japan when they cannot find the 4th floor in buildings. Similarly, the number 9 is also considered unlucky in Japan because its pronunciation is similar to kurushimi, meaning suffering. Most hotels in Japan do not have room numbers 9 or 49. This creates a significant cultural conflict when, in the US, the number 9 is considered lucky and perfect. These beliefs about numbers in Japan are not just superstitions, but deeply reflect the psychology and culture of the people.
That's a temple, isn't it?
This not only makes the Japanese feel secure, but also helps them maintain traditional values through generations. 10. Prohibited gifts. In the daily lives of the Japanese, gift giving is an essential part, with about 70 occasions each year. Some important occasions include New Year's Day, New Year's gifts, Father's Day, Mother's Day, birthdays, weddings, family celebrations, induction ceremonies, graduations, welcoming new people, and visiting the sick. With so many gift-giving occasions, the Japanese also have many rules about gifts, especially those that should not be given. First, avoid giving gifts related to the numbers 4 and 9, as mentioned earlier. These are 2 taboo numbers in Japan. The number 4 is pronounced like shi, meaning death, and the number 9 is pronounced like kurushimi, meaning suffering. Next, do not give a comb to a Japanese person, as the word for comb in Japanese is kushi, pronounced like kurushimi, meaning suffering death. Additionally, do not give images of foxes, glass items, or sharp objects. Gifts with fox images are considered symbols of greed and cunning. Glass or fragile materials are seen as bringing bad luck to relationships.
Oh, really?
Sharp items like knives or scissors are thought to cut off relationships. Finally, do not give chrysanthemums and camellias. If you must give flowers, avoid these 2 as they are used in funerals in Japan. If you insist on giving chrysanthemums or camellias, the Japanese might get angry and see it as cursing them and their families. With these rules, the Japanese not only preserve traditions, but also show respect and delicacy in gift giving. 9. Not sitting with legs crossed.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
In most countries, sitting with legs crossed is completely normal. However, when you come to Japan, you will encounter a fascinating cultural difference. Sitting with legs crossed can make you appear rude and dangerous in the eyes of the Japanese. Although the Japanese government does not ban this, Japanese culture places special emphasis on respecting others, especially in public places or meetings. Sitting with legs crossed in Japan can be considered impolite and provocative, making others uncomfortable. The Japanese believe this posture is reminiscent of cheap prostitutes inviting customers. Therefore, to show respect and politeness, the Japanese often sit in the traditional seiza style, sitting on the knees with a neat and dignified posture. When you come to Japan, instead of sitting with legs crossed, try sitting on your knees or sitting with your back straight and legs together to better integrate with the local culture.
See that I would have to practice that because I got a bad, my left knee is bad from when I fell down the stairs a few years back and tore it up. So I couldn't sit on it like that for too long. Dang.
Your respectful and polite way of sitting will be appreciated and help you make a good impression on the Japanese. 8. Women not allowed in sacred places.
I've heard about
Women
this
make
too.
up half of the world, but in some places in Japan they are considered taboo and are not allowed to set foot in sacred places. The most famous of these places is Mount Omin. Mount Omina, also known as Mount Sanjo, has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2004. However, for centuries, women have been completely banned from visiting the mountain and the sacred temple at its summit to avoid polluting the sacred atmosphere.
Oh, come on now.
Although discrimination has decreased significantly today, this rule remains unchanged. There is even a sign at the entrance to the mountain trail explicitly stating the prohibition of women. Another famous place that bans women is Okinoshima Island, located in Kyushu. This island is recognized as a World Cultural Heritage Site due to its significant historical value. According to the rules, only men are allowed on the island, and they must cleanse themselves thoroughly before setting foot on it. Women are completely banned, and anyone who visits the island is not allowed to take anything off the island, not even a stone. Additionally, Japanese women are also not allowed in sumo rings, cannot register for marriage within 6 months after a divorce, and face many other strict regulations. Although Japan is a strongly developed country, discrimination against women still exists through these taboo rules. This shows that despite social and economic progress, Japan still needs to strive for true gender equality. 7. Smoking outdoors is prohibited. The regulation of smoking outdoors in Japan is a controversial one, both reasonable and somewhat unreasonable. Since 2018, Japan has implemented new laws to reduce the risk of passive smoking, applied at schools, hospitals, government agencies, and public areas. According to these laws, places that allow smoking can be fined up to $4,600, and individuals violating the rules can face fines up to $2,700 if they smoke in prohibited areas. However, the law also specifies designated smoking areas outdoors to balance the rights of smokers with public safety. Notably, while smoking in crowded areas like restaurants and hotels is restricted, the Japanese government still allows smoking in restaurants, bars, and some other public places. Many Japanese people are dissatisfied with this, arguing that if smoking is to be banned, it should be entirely banned.
I'm curious about one thing. What about if you have like a hookah bowl? Would you be allowed to smoke it in your own apartment, like sit on your balcony and do it? That's a crazy law. I'm not kidding. I mean, because here in the U.S. they banned it in almost inside of all buildings, but you're able to smoke outside. That's crazy that they allow you to do it just the opposite. I mean, they let you smoke indoors in certain places, and you have designated smoking areas, but just you're walking down the street, you're not allowed to smoke a cigarette. That's crazy.
They believe that allowing smoking outdoors, although it reduces smoke compared to indoors, is not as effective as implementing a comprehensive smoking ban. 6. Avoid touching others without consent. In Japanese culture, avoiding touching others without their consent is a minimal principle of politeness. Japanese people highly value personal space and respect for others. When you come to Japan, you will notice that touching others, even shaking hands, is not encouraged. Instead, the Japanese show respect by bowing politely, usually around 90 degrees, when interacting. For those with high status or older people, this gesture shows deep respect. Public teasing is also considered disrespectful in Japan. Before 1945, such behavior was considered a violation of public order and could result in imprisonment. Although cultural attitudes and legal regulations in Japan have changed after World War II, public displays of affection are still strictly managed. In Japan, public displays of affection, like kissing, are no longer illegal, but should be done with restraint and respect for the culture,
I heard about that
especially
also.
in public
They
places.
really don't
Not wearing shoes indoors.
encourage
When you enter
PDA.
a house in Japan, wearing shoes or even indoor slippers can be seen as disrespectful. Therefore, remember to take off your shoes or slippers at the entrance and switch to your indoor slippers.
To be honest, that's a rule that a lot of Asian families, Asian style families have, because my best friend is Vietnamese, and him and his family for years, that's how it's always been. When you come into their home, you take your shoes off. And it's gotten to the point, I spent so much time with them over the years that now when I come into my home, first thing I do is take my shoes off at the door. Okay. And I don't expect others to do that. Okay. I know if you go to his house or any of his family members' houses, they appreciate it if you do it. I will. I know my mom, she did it also when she would go visit. But any, like, some of my other friends who aren't accustomed to that, if they went to visit them, like I have a friend that wears cowboy boots all the time, and he complains because he doesn't want to it's a struggle to get his boots on and off, he says. And I'm like, well, dude, figure out something. I mean, you can't just go into his house and walk around in boots. I mean, especially if he asks you out of courtesy for his household to take your shoes off. So, but hey, to each their own. Not everybody's comfortable doing it. I have no problem with it. Okay. I mean, shoot. You never know. I mean, that's a one way also to keep your carpets clean as well, and your floors. Okay. And I believe that's where they do that, is to keep from tracking like dirt and debris, bringing in like sedatives from the outside throughout the house. That may be. Let me shut up and just keep going.
If there are no indoor slippers, you can wear socks or go barefoot. This practice has existed for about 2,000
Ooh,
years,
that's beautiful.
originating from the need to keep living spaces clean and dry. Due to the hot and
Oh,
humid summer
wow.
climate, traditional Japanese houses were built with
Beautiful drone
raised
shot.
floors to avoid
Oh, that is so
moisture and help
pretty.
with air circulation, creating a cooler environment. Tatami mats, which cover almost the entire floor, also help maintain cleanliness and comfort. In a book published in 1984 by a Japanese sociologist, the importance of the interior space of the
That is
home
so
was
beautiful.
emphasized as a private and clean area,
Oh, wow.
compared to the dusty and chaotic outside. Therefore, changing shoes before entering the house not only aims to maintain cleanliness, but also shows respect for the homeowner's private space.
Exactly.
Although this rule is more flexible in modern life, many Japanese people still value this tradition. So, when visiting a Japanese home, always ask if you can wear shoes inside to show respect for their culture.
Exactly.
3. Not
I helped a girl out that I had met at a movie. It was like an amateur movie night, and she was needing help getting her Wi-Fi set up. So I went to visit her the next day. First thing out of her mouth, she was like, first off, apologies. I'm from Singapore and I have the tradition. Please take your shoes off before coming in. I had no problem with that. I fully understood. And like I said, it's not just Japan. It's it's several different Asian nationalities that believe in that rule.
eating while walking. A famous British YouTuber, Jack, shared his shocking experience when traveling in Japan. While strolling down the street and enjoying a Japanese bun, he was surprised by the unfriendly looks from people around him. 2 elderly men even scolded him and chased him out of town. Jack was very confused by this reaction, and when he found out the real reason, his confusion increased even more. It turns out, the uncomfortable attitude from passers-by was not because he did something wrong, but simply because he was eating while walking,
That is so cute.
a behavior considered very unusual in Japan. Here, eating while walking on the street or on the subway is not accepted, as the Japanese believe it can disturb others. The smell of food and the sound of chewing can cause discomfort and disrupt public order. Therefore, eating on the street can lead to being scolded by elders or receiving unfriendly looks. 2. Not using chopsticks to pass food to others. The Japanese are known for their high sensitivity, especially regarding issues like tattoos, touching others, and even basic expressions of affection. One of their traditional customs is to use chopsticks to pick up the bones of the deceased during cremation ceremonies. Therefore, using chopsticks to pass food to others can be seen as an impolite act, almost like an insult.
Oh, wow.
Additionally, sticking chopsticks into a bowl of rice is also forbidden, as this action resembles the act of offering incense to the deceased. If you accidentally do this during a meal, you might be asked to leave and face severe criticism from the host. So, the advice for those visiting Japan is to use chopsticks only to eat food and avoid any other actions to avoid unnecessary trouble. 1. Whistling at night. Whistling at night in Japan is often considered taboo, and children are frequently warned against this behavior. While some believe that whistling at night is simply a way to encourage children to sleep quietly and not make noise, there are many cultural reasons and legends behind this. A common reason is folklore linking whistling with snakes. According to a story, a wicked man used a poisonous snake to attack his victims, and whistling at night was believed to be a way to control the snake. Snakes can sense the sound of whistling, so snake trainers often use whistles to signal them. Moreover, the Japanese believe that whistling at night can attract demons or thieves. In the past, thieves often used whistles to communicate with each other, and whistling could make villagers think you are an accomplice of thieves. For this reason, whistling at night is considered something to avoid, to prevent misunderstandings or unwanted risks.
I can't whistle at all.
So we've explored 15 taboos in Japan. Hopefully this information will give you a clearer view of Japan. It is a wonderful country with many things to discover, and respecting local culture will help you have more memorable experiences. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next videos. See you in the next videos. Thank you, and goodbye. Hello, everyone.
Wow. That was awesome. There were a few things, like I said, that I didn't know, but there were several things I didn't know. Okay, guys, what'd you think of the video? I mean, I found it very informative. Very informative. Really gave a detailed look into the world of Japan and a little more depth. And I'm going to start looking into more of these videos because I do promise you, by the grace of God, before I leave this world, I am going to visit Japan. Okay, I promise you that. But Japan, just like any other country, has some of the most unique cultural differences from what we're used to here in the U.S. They have their own urban legends, their own lore, and I really do enjoy looking into that. So, guys, tell me this. Excuse me. If you want me to do more videos like this, please let me know. Hit me up in the comment section and let me know if you want me to do more videos like this. And if I have any viewers from Japan, please feel free to comment, discuss this with me. Tell me about the life that you've experienced in Japan, whether you were born there or if you moved there and you've been living there for a good period of time. Just feel free to share your thoughts and experiences with me because I would love to hear that. Okay? And as always, guys, thank you so much for being here. Help a brother out by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video, and hitting that notification bell so that you will know when I get these videos up and ready for you. And I apologize, I'm bouncing around this container of G Fuel that for some reason, it's actually a G Fuel flavor that came with my Shrek Swamp Water. It's called Onions and Waffles. And I'm not kidding you, I have yet to taste this because when I open it up, it just sounds like a bad combination. And when I open it up and smell it, it smells like the seasoning from a ramen pack. So, but guys, love and appreciation from me to you guys always. To all those visiting and my current subscribers, thank you so much for the continued support. And as always, guys, hit that like button. It would really help me with this YouTube algorithm. And take care of yourselves. Go out there and enjoy life. Don't let, especially if you're my generation, don't let the burdens of being told that you had to be a part of the rat race confine you from enjoying what life has to offer. Okay? Doesn't matter what generation you are. We all have our responsibilities that we must take care of, but don't forget to live for yourself as well. Okay? Always remember that. All right? You all take care, stay blessed, and I will see you in the next video.